Hey guys, my name is Zach Dewhurst. I am the owner of Deco Experts. I have been using DecoNetwork software for 10 years now, and as a Deco Pro, I help licensees, essentially shops like yours, get the most out of the software. One of my previous clients, or actually ongoing clients, and one of my favorites is Tim Pip, the owner of Bees Tees. Tim has used DecoNetwork software for over 7 years. He offers everything from screen printing to embroidery, and he is an expert at essentially the industry. I know a lot about printing and embroidery. Tim knows more. So I'm not going to BS my way through talking about is contract printing and embroidery right for your business. I've brought on Tim Pip to help give you input from his years of experience when it comes to offering contract printing and embroidery services to his clientele. So Tim, introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Tim Pip. My company's Bees Tea Screen Printing. We're located in New Hampshire. I've got 2 storefront locations, and then we've got a separate production facility a town away from one of my stores. We opened up our second storefront in February of 2020, so about 3 weeks before all the states started shutting down, we had opened up our second store, but things are looking back up, and we've just kind of juked around over the last 10 years, and just expanded our product offerings and what we do as a business.
Thanks, Tim. So again, today's webinar is going to focus around, is contract printing and embroidery right for your business? All right, so what is contract printing and embroidery? Well, first thing is it typically revolves around bulk decorating. Usually, most shops who offer contract printing and embroidery have a piece minimum of 72 to 144. Now, that is not to say that it's always that's the case. I know with Tim, Tim, what is your minimum for contract work?
We honestly do any quantity. We have a lot of smaller print shops that either don't offer printing or don't offer that type of printing, whether it's embroidery or screen printing. So we do one-offs, but we have to kind of decide if they're a really contract customer or if they're really just a customer. So, but we don't have any minimums. Sweet spots probably between that 72 and 144, but we've done 10,000, we've done 1.
Okay, and it's typically the idea is maybe the volume isn't in this order, but throughout the entire year, there will be a lot of volume, and that's what separates them from being a customer and becoming that contract client. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's the biggest part of it is it's an ongoing relationship that it's a lot less customer work than a normal customer would be, and you're working mostly with one person rather than many customers. You're working with somebody that's worked with all of these other customers. So but we've had people that have been using us for 8 or 9 years. I've been in this business for 10 years. I've had the same contract people come to me for the last 8 or 9 years, and they're doing all the selling and I'm just doing all the printing.
And when you kind of mentioned there, you have customers and you have clients. A customer is somebody who comes to one of your shops and they have a small event. Maybe it's a family reunion or it's a birthday. They're looking to create a one-off gift, or maybe it is a sports team, but it's not continuous repeat orders, versus your clientele are continuously bringing you orders from year to year. They're kind of predictable of what at minimum they're going to bring you. Is that kind of how you differentiate a customer from a client?
Yeah, we often we used to have minimums. That was, I think that's a big thing that our industry tries to do is creating these minimums. And I always tell my staff that we're not selling a process, we're selling a finished product. So it's not about the process necessarily: vinyl, screen printed transfers, direct to garment, digital printing, or screen printing. It's about the final product that the customer is buying. And so we got rid of our minimums by offering all of those options. And so now everybody that comes into our store is treated the same way, because that one order that they may have may turn into a 1,000-piece order down the road. And so, yes, there's some people that come back once a year for one piece, but then there's a lot of people that come back multiple times a year for more than one piece. So, you know, in the contract world, we're getting orders once a week, sometimes a couple times a week. And, you know, that's what's a little bit more special about those relationships.
Okay, and as you were kind of pointing out there, your clientele it's a long-term working relationship for your contract clients, and they're often other decoration shops, like I bet a lot of listeners during this webinar, who may not offer screen printing, or maybe they do offer screen printing, but they only have a manual press, and a 500-piece order is just not as ideal for them as your automatic press, or maybe it's a 10 color. So what percentage of your contract clients are in the industry versus, you know, retailers and brands? I'm not saying maybe you work with Disney, but I do know Disney, and I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, where we have L Brands, Victoria's Secret, and Abercrombie and Fitch, and a lot of those others. A lot of those orders are printed by local shops that they contract to.
Yeah, we probably have 25 or 30. It might even be more, but people that come back often to us, and you know, out of those, I would say 5 or 10 of them are more of that retail brand type business, where they come in, they've got a band or something like that, and they're buying their own stuff and they're just giving it to us to print. And we kind of call that a contract customer, because they're bringing their own stuff in and they're ordering often. They're making it pretty easy for us by sending us print ready artwork. You know, they're not a real lot to deal with. But then the other side of that is the actual people that own the print shops. We deal with, you know, out of about 20 of them, I would say, you know, at least half of them don't print at all, at all. So they're just selling it. And some of them have like a heat press, or, you know, they'll do some small stuff at home, but most of them are calling us and saying, we want you to do our stuff. But then you've got the shops that don't do screen printing or don't do embroidery, and they sell a lot of screen printing, but they also sell some embroidery. And, you know, that's an investment. Getting embroidery equipment is definitely a bigger investment to just jump into, whereas the screen printing or heat pressing you can kind of do on a smaller budget. You know, when we first started, we were outsourcing all of our embroidery, and just over time recognized that, you know, we were paying for our contract embroiderers equipment. So, you know, they're all different varieties of different contract stuff, but, you know, for us, it's a big chunk of it is actual people that do not print.
Okay, but and essentially those individuals, or more so, a lot of them are companies, they understand how the industry works. So you mentioned that they typically supply the products to you. So they have a relationship with a Sanmar and S&S. They've already established that relationship, which does take a little bit of work, because they won't sell to just anybody. And they've either educated themselves, or you've educated them on what exactly you need from them to place the order as efficiently as possible. So when it comes to your contract clients, how much communication is needed, for example, to get you a 1,000-piece order? I mean, are some of your contract clients, can they literally just submit it through a website or email it to you, and that's all you need, because they know exactly what you need to know in the format that you want it?
This is one of the biggest challenges with contract printing, is getting people and sorry if you can hear my email, I get a lot of emails. It's digging in the background. Getting other printers or other people that are coming to us for contract work, getting them to kind of follow our rules. And our rules per se are not much different than any other print shop or contract print shop, but you have to get me the artwork ready to go. I don't want a JPEG or a bitmap or a PNG or we want a vector file. That is ideal. That's ideal for our industry in general. If you don't have a vector, just get us something that we can use. We don't want back and forth between you and your customer. We want you to give us what we need right away. Most contract customers are buying their own garments. One thing that we do as a business is we offer our customers, we will buy the garments for them, and we'll give them our pricing. And what I get out of that is I get a bigger buying power from my vendors. So if I'm using Alpha Broder, I can say I spent X amount of dollars this year versus what I would have spent if I didn't buy all my contract customer stuff. But we leave it up to them to check stock and quantities and pricing and all the other stuff. It should really be a quick interaction. There might be a couple questions, but today we got a box that showed up. It's got a purchase order. We don't know who sent it. We're just gonna wait, and that happens often. But for our customers, we tell them put the purchase order and the name of your business in the purchase order. Send us an email before you send anything out so we know it's coming in. Send us the sizes, the quantity, the colors, the print, a proof, and a deadline. And once we have all of those things, we can get going. But you only get some of those things, and then you get questions on what's the price. And the beauty about contract pricing is we're sending you a contract price list up front, so you're going to see exactly what we're charging you up front. We will explain to you how that all works, but it should be pretty self-explanatory. And the way we price contract work is different than we would price our retail customer work, because this is more of an a la carte menu. So it's up on the screen. One color for 49 pieces is $1.25, but if you get a white underbase, then it's marked as 2 colors, so it's $1.75. And in our setup charges below, you'll see, or it'll show why that is. Count dark on light. Dark shirts require a white underbase. Pricing starts at 2 colors. So we often have customers. I think the first 3 months of a new customer has its challenges, because you're learning each other's ways and the way you kind of work and stuff like that. But we have some customers that they won't even get into embroidery because we're doing a good job, and it's less of a hassle for them because all they've got to do is send us their stuff. But I've got some people that I've got a couple of customers that they're not as easy, and they ask me a price every single time they've got a job, and they send me something that's not vectorized, or I want this embroidered and it's a full color picture or something. So having that customer know what's going on and how this industry works is super important. But we know up front that it's gonna be a little bit of work, and then at the end they're gonna start sending us these big orders.
You gotta love it when they take a JPEG or a PNG and they just save it as .ai or .svg. And, oh look, it's a vector. Or they just take it in Illustrator and they just click save. So
I actually had a funny one. Last week, actually, I got into somewhat of an argument with a new contract, their designer, who's not even part of their company, but he said, I'm going to send you JPEGs and you're going to be able to work with it. I've been in this business for years. And I said, you know what? That's fine and all. I've also been in this business for years, and I can't use your JPEG because you've already separated the file. And so I went into I've got an automatic. The way we register jobs is different. The way we set it up is different. The stroke, the choke, all of that stuff, it's going to be different than what you're doing. And he goes, I don't know what you just said, but I'm just going to send you a vector file from now on. And it's like, and this guy told me how old he was and 30 plus years of experience, and okay, that's cool, but like my business is different than what you're doing, and so these are my rules, and that's kind of my point is we've set rules, and we're not going to kind of go past those just for just to help somebody else out in this sense, we're not going to use a JPEG that's a bit blurry and pixelated because he said I can or I have to.
I know in the industry, for some contract clients, they'll call it striking if you're going to do like a retail client. And a strike is when you're essentially creating some product through a special print method potentially and showing the retailer, hey, here's what it's going to be finished. Now, do you want to buy the 100,000 of these? Have you ever been asked to do something like that for some of your contract clients?
Yeah, actually, this particular guy is asking about it, but it's really situational. We don't do strikeoffs, and that's pretty just common for me and my business. I'm a little unique, I think, because of the 2 stores that we have. We deal with a lot of small quantity runs. I have 2 automatic presses. They run over 40 hours a week. We could probably run a second shift at this point, but so I don't have any manuals. We got rid of those once we got the second auto, and we just don't have a whole lot of time to be setting up a 4-color job for one shirt. We do offer other solutions like a direct to garment but we do let them know that it's not going to be the same as the final production. But most of the time in this situation, we ask, why do you want to see proof, printed proof? And a lot of the times is, we want to see the quality of the shirt, the quality of the print, and that's it. And so we send them a blank shirt. We send them a pre-printed shirt that we've done before. There's your quality. There's your quality of your shirt. And at that point, you kind of got to trust what I'm doing, what I've done. And but we've had a customer years ago. I want 6 shirts, and then I'll order 100,000. I said no, and he showed me his Facebook page. He had 2 million followers. I said, when do you need the 6 shirts? So, and that became the biggest account I've ever had, and he was a contract customer as well. But so it's really based on the job, the person, and what they're asking us to do.
Yep. Okay. A lot of things are case-by-case basis, it sounds like, because you never know the potential of that relationship. All right. We have covered a lot during this webinar. Hopefully it has been helpful. If you have questions about how to use DecoNetwork software, you can email me at decoexperts@deconetwork.com. If you have any questions about outsourcing contract work to Tim Pipp at Bees Tees, email him at tpipp@beestees.com. Thank you for attending the webinar, and can't wait to host another one and hopefully educate you guys more on the industry. Thanks, Tim, for joining. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.